everyone, and welcome back to the closet. This is a Princeton Heritage round watercolor brush. I'll tap this close to the mic. Today, I thought we'd put it to good use. I mean, good uses outside of brushing my hand for an ASMR video. Even though it feels wonderful. When I was younger, my mom used to trace our hands, me and my siblings, to relax us and make us go to sleep. Did your parents ever trace your hands? Or your grandparents? Or your siblings? It feels wonderful. So, to put this to good use, we need paint. And I have something very special, something new. Let me grab it. Here we are. But look at all these wrinkles. I think I'll brush them out before I show you. There we go. That's better. This is a Hemi paint set. H-I-M-I. Hemi. Maybe it's pronounced a different way, but that's how it makes sense to me. The type of paint is called gouache. Gouache, 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 gouache. And from my understanding, gouache is in between a watercolor and an acrylic paint. Acrylic paint, once it dries, that's it. It's dry. But watercolor, when it dries, can be reactivated with a little bit of water and a brush. This paint, gouache, can be reactivated with water, but can be used at various stages. This says gouache paint set, 24 colors, kids, artists, hobbyists. I would consider myself an amateur painter. Did you know that the word amateur actually means to do something for the love of it. I wish we were all amateurs at more things, doing things just for the love of it. Kind of like this channel. It says 24 colors, 30 milliliters. So, the wait's over. Let's unwrap this. And if it's too loud, the crinkle sounds, I'll edit them out. If not, they're all yours. Let's give it a try. The anticipation is thrilling. I hope it lasts. Here it is. There's actually a little doodle here that we couldn't see properly. It sort of looks like a horse, but not quite. I have no idea what it is. I'm just gonna walk my fingers around. This mint green case. That's kind of a nice sound. Almost like the waves. And the waves come in. And they flow back out. So, as you can hear, it's a hard plastic. And inside, there should be 24 individually wrapped cups of gouache paint. Should we open it up and see? I'm so excited. I've had this in my apartment for days. So excited to open it, but I was gonna save it. I promised myself I would save it to open it with you guys. Here we go. So it comes with this little palette for mixing your paints. And it fits perfectly in the top of the lid. Let's see, what's this? I have no idea. It looks like a glove. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you would need a glove for painting. But the sounds are nice. So, there's that. Here are the paints themselves. Individually wrapped. And I believe this comes with brushes. Yes, it does. Artist brushes. More great little crinkly sounds. It's quite a few brushes. I didn't expect that many. And they look as though they're appropriate for the paint. Everything that I read said that you should paint gouache with watercolor brushes. Hence, my very own watercolor brush. So, here are the paints. And so what I thought I'd do is I'd open them and I'd swatch them and I'd show you the different textures. That you can use gouache in. So I think it's going to be quite a process to peel off all of these. So maybe I'll do a few on camera, and then I'll do the rest off. We'll see. Okay, where should we start? Ooh, a purple. Really nice. You know that quote from Forrest Gump that says, "Life's like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get." I feel like that right now, but with paint, which is not edible. Blue. They say blue is the warmest color. I don't know. Try and get every bit of that paint into the cup. This is so exciting. I don't know, am I a total nerd for thinking this is like the best thing ever? I don't know if I can show you guys, but they have different little icons on them. Oh, this is nice. I prefer this shade of purple, more of a lavender tone than like a royal purple. I don't know, royal purple is a color. That's really pretty. Green. Green is my favorite color. What's your favorite color? I wonder what dictates what our favorite color is. If it's the culture in which we're raised, or Some of them are more viscous. Here's a red. Kind of a light red. Here I am again, struggling to get one out. Alright, we won't force the issue. I have no nails, so I can't, get underneath. Curious. Maybe if we take one out. That did. That did it. This one has like a cat. Is that a cat on the top? I think it is a cat. And this is a white. I believe there are 2 whites in this set. Maybe that's a way to do it. Oh, this is a nice color, isn't it? Kind of a Dwight Schrute mustard. If there are any Office fans out there, you'll get this. Ooh, a nice dark blue. And there's a dog on the front. Really pretty. That's the type of paint that I know, like, once you get it onto a painting or on a piece of paper, it'll, like, come alive. I broke my rule. Let's try and get this guy out. Oh gosh, the mess has begun. No biggie. I brought a rag for exactly this occasion. When I have old t-shirts, I don't throw them out. I use them as little art rags. Okay, back to the task at hand. A miss. Maybe I can find another use for my paintbrush. Yes, success. It's another shade of blue. It's giving me some trouble getting it open. Now it's giving me quite a lot of trouble. Maybe we'll come back to this one. Ooh, what is this color? I don't know if it says on there. It doesn't. Is this what periwinkle looks like? That's the word that came into my mind. Oh, look. Ah, that one was nice and easy. Thank you, mysterious color. What a ridiculous thing to say. And we learn our lesson. And we take one out. Before we put the next one back, 1 for 1. This is a nice dark green had some new neighbors move in, and they're quite loud. Everyone's lovely, everyone's totally kind and wonderful, just loud. Okay guys, so it was getting noisy and messy, so I went ahead and cut away. But these are the paints. I think they're so pretty. I love that there are 4 shades of green, even though you might call that one a blue. I love this color. And this purple, and this mystery color that we left off on. So, now, I'm going to swatch these colors, and I'm going to swatch them 2 ways. Once, just out of the pan or pot, and once watered. I have a little swatch card made up here, and I'll just go kind of according to their location in the pan. I'm going to move these over, and then we'll get started. Okay guys, I'm ready to get started. I'm so excited. So first, I'm going to wet my brush. I have a little water here. So I'm just going to wet my brush and kind of just dry it a little so I can have some control over the hydration of the brush. And just directly from the pot, I'm going to come in and paint a beautiful wide stripe. Now I have to say, purple is not my favorite color, but I am in love with the way this looks on the paper. It's so pretty. So now, I'm going to use this, but I'm going to water it. And so to do that, I'm going to grab my palette. Okay, so I'm going to put just a dab of purple on the palette, just like that. And now, I'm going to water it down. Isn't that amazing? And let's see what it does now. Look at that. It really changes the value of the color. Like, a lot. That's crazy. So, I'm going to wash my brush now. You guys know that the father of ASMR is really he would take his brush and he would beat it back and forth on like the stand, his easel. The stand. Goodness. So I realized I left spaces for the whites, but they don't have pigment. They don't have like a color pigment. So I probably won't swatch those because the paper's white. Although maybe for consistency's sake I should. Let's go for it. See, like the texture of this paint, that's way too much. It's already different than the purple. It's a little more chalky. Yeah, I don't expect that you guys can see this very well. But I can tell. It gives good coverage, and that's important. So, I have actually never worked with gouache before. It's a little bit trendy right now. Or at least I understand that it's trendy. Gouache is having a moment. Such a pretty color. And now, let's give it some water and see how we like it. A little bit more. A little bit more. That's nice. Let's see how that behaves. I guess it makes logical sense that the colors would be a little lighter when they're watered down. Sorry, I just hit the side of my glass that I'm washing my brush in. Okay, our first green. That makes me very happy. Wow, that's pretty. Look at how much I'm trying to paint this whole square green. Foolishness. I'm gonna try to water this with just what's left on my brush, so that I don't waste any paint. Yeah, that looks good. I think I'll be able to use that. Let's see. I mean, gosh, that is so pretty. All of these colors are pretty so far. Wow. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch Bob Ross with my dad. Every now and then, my dad would be channel surfing, and we would scroll past PBS, and Bob Ross would be on, and oh my gosh, when he was on, I would get so excited. One of the only things I ever wanted to be, aside from my chosen profession, was an artist. Like a visual artist, a painter, or an illustrator. Let's water this a little. This is such a deep, dark blue color. It's beautiful. Let's see how it takes to the water. Wow, really nice. And that's a lot of the white through, which I actually think helps the do you think? Are you guys liking the straight out of the pot or the watered down pigments more? I think I'm liking the watered down pigments, which I know that's how the paint is meant to be used, so I guess that makes sense. Here's this really earthy yellow, brown, the Dwight Schrute mustard shirt color. There's this episode of The Office, which, if you're not an Office fan, I'm so sorry. This is probably so annoying. Because Office fans are so intense sometimes, but there's an episode where Pam is, I don't know, she's not in the office for some reason. And she's talking to Jim about Dwight's mood. And at one point she asks what colored mustard is his shirt. And I think she says like spicy brown or Dijon or something. And it's true. He does wear mustard colored shirts. Yeah, that's really pretty. Really earthy. I like it a lot. I am contaminating my paint a little bit. So I'm gonna do some adjusting really quick. Oh yeah. That'll work. So, on to our first red. Wow. I didn't open this pot with you guys on camera, but look at that. What an intense red color. I can't wait to use these on and off camera with you guys. Really nice. When I paint, I like to have 2 jars of water. One to clean the brushes, and then one to use to like thin out paint if I want to. Our second green, this is, I don't know, would this be considered a Kelly green? Yeah, I think so. So pretty. What's your favorite color? I appreciate all of the colors. I'm not sure why green is my favorite. I know it was my mother's favorite. What is my mother's favorite? We're not even halfway through these colors, you guys. This is a bit of a ramble. Because I don't know how nice these sounds are for you. Painting is kind of quiet. Oh, here's this gorgeous purple color. This like lavender. Is this lavender? Let's see. Yeah. Really nice. I think it is kind of lavender. Have you guys ever heard of Jenny's ice cream? It's kind of like a really posh, bougie ice cream store that's like, you know, I don't know, expensive or whatever. And I know that they have a flavor that's like lavender, and this is kind of the color of it. Maybe that's why I thought it looked like lavender. Just cleaning my brush. You can hear the water sound. This looks like a blue. really deep blue, but I kind of feel like when it hits the paper, it's going to get really vibrant. I was wrong. Just kidding. Let's wait to see what the water does to it. Yeah, that's really pretty. Really pretty. It's so interesting the way that this blue is so different from this blue. Just, like, who would have thought? I've been painting, like, just as a hobby, as an amateur, like I said earlier, for maybe 8 or 9 years. It started, well, obviously I painted as a child. I think everyone did. But it started at one of those wine and canvas parties, or there are all sorts of cute little names for it. That's, I think, the only pink. It's nice. It actually, I think it's one of the colors that looks the most similar in both of its, I don't know, thicknesses. But yeah, that's where I started really getting into painting as an adult. I went out and picked up some canvases after one of those events because I had enjoyed it so much, and just kind of let myself go, and it was great. I plan to show you guys some of my paintings one day, if you'd like that. They're pretty abstract. This is a nice orange color. Yeah, that's really pretty. My favorite artist is Edward Hopper. He painted, I think the painting that everybody knows by him is called Nighthawks, and it's a few people, I think it's 3 or 4 people sitting in a diner in a city, maybe in the Big Apple. And it's like the middle of the night, or maybe it's the early morning, and they're not there together, but they're all really lost in their thoughts, lost in their own problems. It's not the happiest painting in the world. But what I like about it, and what I like about Hopper as a painter in general, is the way that he treats light. His light, at least to my absolutely untrained eye, is He's really angular, and he stretches light in his paintings. He really stretches it. Light kind of crawls around his worlds. It's almost like there's someone standing just out of frame of the painting, holding a flashlight, sort of shining light on the scene that we're seeing. Whoa, look at how different these two colors look side by side. That's great. So, I guess one of the things you have to know when you're working with gouache, ooh, look at that deep dark black, is that because it reactivates with water, you have to be careful about how you layer your paints. If you're painting with acrylic, for instance, you can just layer and layer and layer. My lights just went out on me. Isn't that funny? I was painting with black and my lights went out. Anyways, I was saying that when you paint with acrylics, you can paint in layers upon layers upon layers. And just build up the paint however you'd like until it's, thick and almost textured. But when you're using a paint that reactivates with water or with liquid, you can't do that so easily. So you have to paint from your thinnest paint, something like this watered down paint, to your thickest, because obviously there's less water in thicker paint, so there's less likelihood that the paint underneath will pick up. I think that's going to be a challenge for me, because I haven't worked with gouache very much. Well, I haven't worked with gouache at all until this moment. I really like that color. We're more than halfway through. A good reason to swatch is because it can be really difficult to know what a color looks like just in the pot or in the tube. For instance, this yellow, it's vibrant, but it looked even more vibrant in the pot. And I bet when I water it down, it's going to really mute in a really nice way, I think. Here we go. Not as much as I would have expected, actually. So, that's a good reason to swatch, so that you really know what your colors look like. So then if you have if you're working on a painting or something, and you really need a certain kind of blue or a certain kind of green or red, you can look to your chart and know where to go for that. Now this is a color I'm really interested in. Let's see. This is the mystery color. If any of you know the name of this color, Please tell me, please educate me. It's really pretty, or it's just, I don't know, it's unique. Yeah, that's nice. Really nice. Now this next color, it kind of looks like black again, but I don't think that it's black. I bet it's like a dark blue or something. We're gonna see. Yeah. I think that's a blue. Let's see how it is when it gets some water. Oh, yep, right there. It's blue. Wow. I really like painting with blues. I've actually painted a couple of portraits. And when I paint those, I like to do portraits in blue. I think the way that it shades is really exciting. This color I didn't get to show you guys, but it's like a light peach. Why does my pinky keep going up like that? I'm not sure. I think I'm trying to avoid getting a pinky full of paint. My neighbors are walking around upstairs, if you can hear them. That's kind of nice. It's nice and neutral. Okay, only 4 more to go. Here's a really bright red, like cherry, like a cartoon cherry or clown's nose. Uh-oh, I've almost run out of space to water my paints. I have to go over here. What will this look like? It's nice. The paints get like, they start to look like almost velvety when you put a little water to them. It's so interesting. That's not what I would have expected them to do. It's like they get almost like more creamy. And this is the color that we can ask, is it a green? Is it a blue? Is it a blue-green? Maybe a little bit of water will reveal it to us. This is very, very interesting. Because when I put it to water, I feel it really brings out the blue qualities. But just on its own, straight out of the pot, it feels kind of green. What do you guys think? I thought this paint set was going to have 2 whites, but it doesn't look like it's going to have 2. Okay, so this is a nice kind of light brown earth tone, like a Tootsie Roll. Do people still eat Tootsie Rolls? Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Remember in the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? And he has like the chocolate waterfall and the chocolate river. And it not so chocolate river. Okay, guys, last color to swatch. And it's a dark brown, and we're grateful for that. Wow, look at all of these colors. I am so excited to get painting with these. Which one is your favorite? I like them all. Wow. Oh, guys. You should just see my palette stick to the blanket. There's paint on the inner side. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's great to not have to do this alone, to share it with somebody. I'm sure we'll be doing some more paint-centered videos, painting, in the future.